All right, boys and girls, friends, subscribers, it is I, the Sage of Painful Truth, here to deliver tidings of good joy and greetings on this Wednesday morning. And yeah, none of that shit.
I don't know what any of that meant.
I don't know. I got to come up with a better way to. You just hit the button start, like I was telling you. I'm going to make a little intro video. You just hit the thing and you go, damn it. We're just, all of a sudden, I'm just talking to Steve. Now I'm talking to the world. Yeah, that's crazy.
I wouldn't go so far as saying talking to the world, but
okay, I'm talking to like 20 people.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to come in and volunteer to help out with the show today? Okay, so what are the qualifications before I put the link in there? Are you a terrible reseller? Okay, come on, join us.
The qualification is have how to click a link, pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much it. That's it. Yeah, and
you don't be an ass. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because we're going to be asses, so we can only have so many allowed per show. You know, the ass quota is taken up, and the giant ass of the chat lag is here. So there we go. He is also the giant entertainment of the chat too. So that's why he's allowed to be the giant ass
for now.
So I tried an experiment yesterday. I'm gonna start doing more reels and stuff. So I hope everyone checked out. If you follow me on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, I actually sold the crop preserver, and so I wanted to let the world know that I had solved a first world problem. You know, stinky, sweaty balls or balls that stick to your leg. I solved that problem. I sold it to someone, and they're going to have temporary relief from there.
I'm trying to figure out the target market because I've never needed a product of that nature. Eh?
You know, they make this stuff called soap. I don't know, man. I should add that to the list. Okay, let's add that to the list.
Soap. No, it was a really good video. I enjoyed it. I got a chuckle.
That's what I try just to be funny about it. Some of them I'm gonna try to do one a day. Some might be learning. Some might be humorous. Just something different.
I legit thought it was going to be a product review because, like I said before the show, Manscaped and them do a lot of YouTube, sponsors. And so that's what I really thought it was until you got into it. And it was hilarious because it looked like a legit review at the beginning. So I think that might be a good little niche for you.
Yeah. Because everybody wants to hear a review on a product for saggy old men balls. That's what they need. What a terrible start to this show. Can I just hit end and we start over?
I thought it was all right. Nothing wrong with talking about, problems. So
I decided to. So this show is a.
I don't think that one would have went over as well, Harlan.
Thank you very much for reminding people of my of the pineapple juice. Of my safety word, so that I can get out of that one. Pineapple juice. So did some research on some titles and other stuff too, so it kind of led me to this show, and it's going to lead me to some more videos in the future. But and so this reseller report, the 8 reasons why you are a bad reseller, is today's episode, and I do have 8 or 9 or 10 reasons, just kind of a continuation of last week. But yeah, the title is a test, so I'm trying to see if this title makes more people watch this video over the normal I don't know, 800 to 1,000 views is what one of these shows normally gets. And so I appreciate you guys joining us with the experiment.
Isn't every show an experiment?
Mm,
Long running social experiment.
okay, so I'll remind you guys beforehand, but last Thursday night, we played live on Rumble. I'm the bearded pick on Rumble. Go sign up for an account for Rumble. Join us on Thursday night. If you missed the old beard, if you missed the one who would tell you what he thought and was not scared of a channel being cut down, he lives over there. He's alive over on Rumble. And a lot of work went into this channel over since 2015, so I'm not really willing to lose it, even though it doesn't make a ton of money. It's a vehicle for doing other things, and I appreciate that. But Rumble, on the other hand, you want to ask a political opinion. They are a free speech platform. They truly, as long as you stay within reason, you're not going to be able to say a lot of racial things over there. There's stuff that you would think are bad and would be bad for everyone, not just one side of the aisle. I truly do believe we are better off not being in an echo chamber. So I welcome anyone of any. If you have a point of view, turn your camera on over there and come on. Tell the world why you believe. I have a lot of respect for people who have a different opinion than I do, but can tell you why.
Right.
So Mr. Sadie says he knows 16 reasons that he sucks as a reseller.
I could give you a lot more than 16 why I suck, but
yeah, Mr. Sadie, this is not a contest to win. So we'll do that tomorrow night for an hour and a half or so. Just kind of whatever you want to talk about over there. Hey, we'll get into it. Hey, over there tomorrow night, I'll tell you my opinion on Nashville. How about that? And where you failed in Nashville. Sold some Halo, winning.
Selling.
So number one, I think this is probably the most important because number one will follow you through all the rest of them. You don't love reselling. You see it as easy money. You saw a video of someone in a Walmart parking lot and thought, that's pretty interesting. It's got to be easy. All you're doing is buying stuff and selling it. You need to follow your passion in life, folks. Selling on eBay requires a lot of effort and dedication. Failure to put in the time, means failure to launch. You will see ups and downs based on your effort, but you will never truly be a runaway success and really meet the goals that you want if you don't love what you're doing. Hell yeah, Lag. I told you I had 10 things. After the 10, we're free to talk about whatever you want. That won't get me banned from YouTube.
I thought it was 8. Oh, 8 things.
Yeah, but I added 2, remember?
Yeah, but you said you might not. So
I might. Yeah, the last one.
I've had people come up to me locally, people, friends, family, whatever. Oh, this reselling gig sounds so great. Can you teach me how to do it? And I do. I show them how to list an item. I actually have them sit at the kitchen table with me, list an item, that kind of thing. And how many of those people stay with it? So far, 0. No, my 2 sons sell off and on, but most of them don't sell. And it's because they don't really like it, or they really don't have, the passion to go out and look for things like I might. Scott might.
There's nothing more frustrating than when somebody takes your time to ask you all this information about what you do. And, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And they never even bother opening an account. They never try it. They sit back and go, what? They could have easily watched things and realized it was more work than they wanted to, but they take your time up. It is that's soul sucking, by the way.
The ones that come here to have me show them, I walk them through opening the account, so I know they've got the account. And they do sell a few things, but it's just not their gig. You know, they get into it and realize there's no security in it as far as health insurance, and there's a lot of things that. And I warn them up front. This is what's you have to, because if they don't have no passion for it, then they're never going to do it.
But the stuff like that is just, they see a lot of problems and obstacles. If you love it, you're going to do it and overcome these obstacles. Insurance is a big one. Everybody talks about. I get that question just tons. Where do you get insurance from? And when I look at them and tell them, yeah, right, what insurance? They're out. They won't. They're not willing to be like me, and walk life on the edge.
And I mean, that's, you have to have a lot of passion to bypass the things that are. Reselling gives you freedom, and we all know that. But there's a price to freedom, and a part of that price is either paying a lot of money for insurance or not having it at all, or things like that. And if you don't really, really, really have the passion for this, you're gonna not stick with it ever.
So before you go crazy and say, I can't believe the beard, you're too old not to have insurance. Metashare. It is not. It's not. You hear it a lot on a lot of podcasts. It is a Christian cost sharing program. It functions like insurance, but it's technically not insurance. So that is what I use, and it is much cheaper. So, I think my Metashare is like $380 a month. If I had Blue Cross Blue Shield here, the last payment I made was $1,700 a month just for me. So it's a huge cost savings. What are some of the differences? It covers 80% versus. It also has a network. My doctor was in the network, so that's beautiful. I haven't had anything where they didn't cover their part. And there's no drug program, but I get my prescriptions at Costco. I pay less at Costco than I paid for the copays for Blue Cross Blue Shield.
We should do an entire show on some of these types of subjects. What's the real cost of being a reseller, or something like that?
That's a good title.
Because there is a cost.
Somebody write this down. Steve contributed to the program.
What's it been, 5 years now? I've contributed before.
Did somebody write it down? Because if they didn't, there's no proof. No,
I show up every week.
That's a great idea, man. Because there's a lot of questions that people want to know, but they don't know where to ask, and they don't know. But it's, there's obstacles to everything. Oh my God, I'd have to have. What are you talking about? I have to have insurance to sell. I can't have insurance at $50 a month. What do you mean I have to report this on my taxes? Oh my God, I can't keep up with this. There's a million excuses not to do it. So if you don't love it, you're not going to do it. So that's 100%. You're not going to follow through. You're not going to, all these things that I'm going to tell you, most of you are going to go, damn, Beard, I do that. It's 100%. Lags recording. Don't worry. Metashare. It's you can find it easy. MEDISHARE.com, Metashare.com. And
to be clear, go ahead.
Let me warn you, Denise, when you talk to these folks, be prepared. They are the nicest people you have ever dealt with your entire life. They are, I'm telling you, I've talked to them 4 or 5 times, and every one of them's the same, the most helpful, outgoing, want to know. And before they leave the phone call, they're going to want to know what can they do, what can they pray for you for? They're going to pray for you on the phone. These folks are some of the nicest human beings I've ever dealt with. So if you think a lag on this bottom, then they're like on the other opposite side. That's where they are.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I just wanted to be clear that when we're talking about some of these subjects today, this is for somebody who's, not your part-time people, but it's mainly for people who want to make this a living, I think, and why you fail at that. Not part-time is easy, Oh, no, it's not. Right now I'm part-time. It is not easy because you got to juggle a lot more.
So that's number. we'll go ahead and go to number 2. Lag's going to want to play the last hour, so if we don't cover these in the first hour, he's going to be pissed with us.
Oh.
You don't improve your abilities. These are the first 3 are me. You don't improve your abilities. You start reselling, and everybody starts off. Okay, not everybody, but quite a few people, especially on eBay, start off as clothing sales. Clothing is the easiest thing to find. It is very hard. So it takes some difficulty to be great at it, but to be mediocre at it, you can be mediocre. I sold clothing to start, and I'm terrible at it.
Yep, same here.
It is also it's the equivalent of selling books on Amazon to me. It has got off. They're everywhere, and it's got awful boring. So I would buy stuff, seeing a label, and miss 10 spots. It'll have a hole in it, and I have this damn big ass pile that's going to the trash can because I'm in too much of a hurry. Most anything I sell, like electronics and stuff, if it's got a small issue, I can repair, I can clean, I can do whatever. But clothing, once you've tried 10 different ways to get a stain out, you really, yeah. So that
I've noticed a similar thing with plush. There's always a little stain or something you're gonna miss. Now, I find that Tide pens do really well, but plush is the same way for me. I like selling it though.
So there's Carl. Hey, Carl, thanks so much for contributing. I don't recognize your name, but hey, thanks for being here, buddy. Medishare for a family of 3, pay $3.95 a month. There you go. And he'll probably tell you the same thing. I'm assuming Carl is a he. Usually. Every time you deal with them, they're lovely people, and very cost effective, and yeah, good stuff. So Liberty Health shares another one. Lisa C does not recommend them. I can't tell you enough. Medishare has been so. I mean, I've been very pleased, and I've had it for last couple of years. I have another reseller friend who has it, and they're the ones that told me about it. I'd heard from them, but I didn't know anybody who had experience with it, and they said, "Man, it's absolutely great, and we have saved a ton of money." So you don't improve your abilities. It takes constant learning, folks. It absolutely, because I can guarantee you one thing: life is going to change. eBay, and this goes for most of this stuff goes for Amazon too. It's going to change. So the platforms are going to change. I guarantee twice a year they're going to change. Every spring and every fall, they're going to give you a new update, and the rules are going to change. Also, the competition is going to change. Trends are going to change. Everything's going to change. And so if you're not someone who keeps up with it and, learns new things to sell, and if you're a niche seller, if you don't continue to improve your knowledge in your niche and take care of that stuff too, it hits you the same way. Harlan, I got to the hardcore part and it lost me. I'm like, yeah, maybe Harlan bought the crop preserver. Yeah, just because, and Harlan's 100% correct, just because you're part-time doesn't mean all this stuff doesn't apply. You still gonna have to put in the same effort.
Right. Because I'm part-time now too, so.
Tim, just in case you didn't know, Harlan doesn't have girls. He has a son and a daughter. Okay, number 3 just comes off my little thing here. Just a reminder that I did sell some crop preserver, which is, if y'all have missed all the jokes and haven't seen the thing, it's ball deodorant. You're scared to sell products. These are the 3 that I stuck up there. These are my 3. Now, I tell everybody, I'll sell anything. I don't care. I have bought women's personal products. I have bought men's personal products, whatever. If you have an opportunity to make money in a product, I will buy it. I've sold Bibles. I've sold, it can go from one extreme to the other. It becomes, Dave loves to tell me it's just a widget. It's just, and that's really, if you look at this, it's just a widget. If it's not doing any harm, it's just a widget. And a lot of people can't get past that fact. They They can't walk into a drugstore and see tampons on clearance and buy the whole box, buy the whole rack. Done it. Not a big deal.
I've sold Bibles and tarot cards, listed them at the same time, one right after the other. Now, those would be two opposite ends of the spectrum, but they both sell. So I'm going to sell them both. And tampons. I mean, one of my best selling products on Amazon ever was tampons. We sold a crap ton of them.
I got one
and
left.
It didn't bother me. Yeah, it didn't bother me to go into the store and buy them either.
I sold a ton too. It's crazy. I've got one pack left over there.
Thousands of them, I think. I mean, it was definitely well over a couple of thousand we sold of those.
So Chris, you're 100% correct. Bibles are good sellers, and they are such good sellers, folks. There are a lot of people would say because of religious reasons or whatever, they wouldn't sell a Bible. Let me clue you in on a secret that maybe you haven't thought of in your life. On the New York Times bestseller list, the Bible is excluded. Did anybody know that they do not track Bible sales for the New York sellers, the New York Times bestsellers list? Care to guess why?
It would always be number one.
The Bible outsells any book in history, bar none. If they counted on the New York Times bestseller list, it would be number one in perpetual. It would never leave the number one spot. It sells so much every single week, every single day, every single year that it is the most popular and the number one selling book in the world, bar none. Bar none.
But
So why would you eliminate it? Why would you eliminate it? Study Bibles, they're very expensive, they're very nice. I run some through the auction. People pay top dollar because that is what they're looking for. And so
just to quickly answer Bob T, yeah, I'll probably still be part-time, but I'll be much more active in reselling during yard sale season because that's my best time of year. But I'll split my driving 50-50 at that point.
All right, so Mama says that all dishes for all body cavities have done well for him. There's one thing. We'll leave this number 3. We'll leave here just 1 second. The one thing I would tell you is if you eliminate products, think of especially the male psyche. A lot of men do not want to go buy things. They want it delivered to their house. There's some kind of societal, they perceive some kind of embarrassment in buying certain products, and so they're much apt to order it. So why would you not stick? So that's John Jones. That's Malaga. If it's legal, sell it.
I mean, just obviously limits, but
all right. White Earth. I've never even seen one, but if I found one, I would definitely sell it.
I have not sold a Quran, but I've sold what's the books that the Jehovah's Witness use. I would sell Scientology books. I don't care. At this point, it's just a belief system. When I'm looking at it that way, whatever your belief system is, I don't care. I'm selling you a product. That's it.
Oh yeah, Harlan's got a point. Self-checkout. If some of this stuff, if you're buying a product that slightly embarrassing, go to self-checkout. It's not hell. Walmart. I was in a Walmart yesterday. They had 2 lanes open, and the rest was self-checkout on both ends. 2 lanes.
As a DoorDash driver, sometimes I have to do what's called a shop and pay order, and the one I did last week required me to go in and buy a bunch of feminine type products. I can't have qualms about that. If you have qualms about that, then use a service like Walmart has delivery.
But this is a topic no one talks about. You see if you eliminate big swaths of products, you're eliminating what your potential profit and your potential ability to sell. And so, if you're not willing to sell most things, man, is that 2 on the show already? I like this show. All right, so next up.
Since I'm filming on the phone, I can't tell if I get any sales or not because it won't ring through.
So I hope y'all are. I hope y'all are enjoying my new banners I created. So if you need help, this is everything that's in the bottom of the contents. The next one up is Supply Hut, 5% discount. I used my own discount yesterday, and I do look to make sure they still have the cheapest. I ordered 100 8x6x4 boxes. They were $44 or 40 something before the discount. Ended up being like 41 and some change. That is by far the cheapest 8x6x4 boxes at 41 cents each or 42 cents each that you can find. Fast shipping. I ordered them yesterday. They'll be here Thursday. They are on the ball. I like Supply Hut a lot.
From what I understand about the guy who owns Supply Hut, he was a reseller or is.
His name is Charlie.
Yeah, and he created the company because he wanted cheap boxes,
Which is Steve should use them automatically because he's out of Cleveland. So
I use Supply Hut.
You should get boxes like next day almost.
Almost 1 or 2 days usually. Yeah.
Timothy Dole is correct. I told you I wouldn't remind you again, but eBay coupons expired at the end of the week. All right. So next up, poor product selection. How many t-shirts on eBay do you think can be listed? How many pairs of jeans? You listen to the folks saying, just list. And that is the worst myth ever. List without qualifications is not going to increase your sales. I'm sorry. The goal is not to have 10,000 listings unless you sell postcards. Mark will come on here and tell you that he sells so many postcards every day. It is a numbers game. But for the most part, most products having sheer numbers is not a guarantee of sales. It just isn't.
Nope.
And so many people, hey, RG, roll tide, buddy. Has anybody told you roll tide this morning at 8:30 in the morning in the great state of Alabama? Roll tide. Let me be the first. That means your item is priced too high and the buy box is suppressed. Aura, which was the first one on the thing, has programs that will slowly strategies in their repricer that he can set up for you that will slowly go down to where the buy box comes back. But that is the reason why you have no buy box. You are gouging people.
As far as product selection, there were people back in the day who spent their life savings on fidget spinners. Well, that was a bad product selection. You can have 20,000 different fidget spinners on your eBay account or whatever, Beanie Babies, whatever was the hot thing that you bought, and it wasn't a good idea. But that goes with every product. You have to be able to know how to do the research. I've been talking to my oldest son about it a lot lately. He's buying some products from Five Below and selling them on eBay. He's making a couple dollars. He's not making a ton, but he actually went out and did the research on his own and figured it out.
Right.
And that's big of him too. It's big when he can do something like that, which is really cool. But it's not something that, he had to actually do the research on the products. And that's really what it comes down to.
All right, 101 people. Let's stop the show right now. Stop the show.
Like, I can't
use maybe 1 to 2 calories of effort to hit the like button for me. I appreciate that. We do this for you every Wednesday, and we enjoy conversation with you guys. If you get any value at all, hit the thumbs up for me. I appreciate that. All right, I'm trying to get better at that. I'm the world's worst. So not only do you select poor products, you have poor product descriptions. That's next up. I hate more than anything if I'm looking for something on eBay to see a just a standard product picture that is not the item. It's just a stock photo, and then the description is just copy paste of the title.
Or if you're on mobile, it defaults to whatever condition you choose, and it just says good condition or something like that. Now, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of having poor product descriptions. Very guilty. Now, on things that matter, like a DVD player or something like that, I will describe in a better detail. But most things, I'm pretty poor at.
And I throw this in there too with poor product descriptions. Is I include the picture as a part of it. You're allowed 24 pictures and you use one. If it's a used item and you use one picture, the only way that I use just 2 pictures is with a new DVD, front and back, and it's new.
Yeah.
That's it. But if it's a used one, you get front and back, and then I'll open it up and I'll try to get an angle that shows the disc. I don't sell a ton of used ones; they all go to auction. But you take the opportunity to, if your product's in excellent condition, show 100 pictures of it. If it's got some flaws, oh my God, it's going to be returned. Put it in the pictures. Put it in the pictures and the description. There's a reason why whenever you're listed on mobile, the description says list any flaw. eBay tells you list any flaws. I encourage. Poor product description means not enough pictures, and they don't have to be perfect pictures. You can put a toe in the picture, a finger, a hand, or whatever. Those I don't mind at all because I understand that it's a real person, a real product. I'm actually okay with. I'd rather see photos that are not perfect. But it's part of. I'd rather have 10 imperfect pictures that are I know are taken by someone than a stock photo. Wondering if you can trust a drop shipper to get the right item.
Now, there's certain things I buy off of stock photos. Supply Hut, for example. Don't forget your 5% off down there. They use stock photos because they sell thousands and thousands of the same box. That makes sense. That's a company that you're buying
product. That's stock photos
of their own
product.
That's okay. Cell phone cords and things like that. Yeah, I'll buy a stock photo, whatever. But Volkswagen toy, I want to see the real thing. That kind of thing.
So Chris had an important question. When are more shows on Rumble? How about tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time?
I think Chris missed the beginning of the show.
Chris, we are disappointed, Chris, that you didn't make it here right at 8 o'clock. Could you please try to do better next Wednesday?
Brenda has a good point. Include measurements. My wife, when she sells a certain product that she sells, has a chart, and it shows exactly how she measures that thing. And it's just the same picture for every thing, but it shows where the measurements are taken.
Was it this show last week that someone asked you, they put a picture? Were you on the show when somebody asked you, they include a picture with the number of measurements? Someone asked me that question. And
I don't recall, but
it's 100% yes. Anywhere you can put the measurements, they're going to look at pictures before they look at a description. And so if one of your Pictures is, Rally Roots has got the best example of the way they lay it out. I haven't seen anything Marsha does, but it's probably similar. Put the measurements in a picture that way that they can actually see it. They don't miss it.
She actually has a chart. It's let's say she's selling a shirt. She has a picture of like a line drawing of a shirt, and it shows where she takes the measurements.
Right.
And that's how she does that. And I don't know if she actually puts the actual measurement on that chart or just in the description, but so that people know exactly how she took those measurements.
That's number 3 on the show today. That's winning. I'm going to be shipping like a banshee at this rate.
And I'm not saying everybody has to do that way, but that is just another level of good product description is all.
So every 10 minutes I'm selling something. So that means if we roll this show for about 8 hours, man, sales are going to be great. Okay, so y'all are tired of Supply Hut. It's tax time. Check out Reseller Genie. They're next up. The code has to be in all caps for Reseller Genie. So next up, not only are you picking poor products and you're not describing them well, you have poor pricing strategies. Contrary to popular belief, folks, lowest price is not always best. If you're selling used items and you have a higher quality than someone else, why would you ever match a lower quality item? They're not the same item. New is new, but how long on new items can you go low price? Here's a thought for you. And, Harlan is quick to, when we talk about pricing and stuff on eBay, it's not like Amazon. Amazon, you're on the same listing. Everybody's got a price. It's a price fight for the most part. But on eBay, remember, each one's different. If you sponsor a listing, you're up a little higher. If your feedback is worthy, you've got 4,000 feedback at 100% versus a brand new seller with a 0. There's a reason the 0 feedback seller is way at the bottom of the prices. He's trying to earn trust. He's trying to get somebody to take a chance. So pricing strategies, I would tell you, and I've got, the big girl stuff, the handmaiden form. I've got tons of it. So I give volume discounts. You want to buy 2, you get whatever their standards are. You want to buy 3, it's like 20% off. Come on, buy 4.
Mm-hmm.
buy 10 from me. You want a whole case? I'll make a deal with you. If you're a big girl and you chafe and you need some 3Xs and need a whole case, I got you.
I think there's a big trick that a lot of people aren't using when you have multiples is that volume discount. I use it on everything I have multiples on. And it's not crap discounts either. I start out by 2, 10, 15, 20. I mean, it gets higher as it goes.
Yeah, same thing. So are you
because you're saving that money on the shipping on the other end. If you're shipping 2 together, you're going to save the money generally. But anyway, go ahead.
So Brian, you're only at 15. Mr. Sadie said he has 16 reasons why he's terrible. So you're losing right now. Surely you could come up with a couple more reasons, Brian, why you're a bad reseller. Other product pricing strategies is do you listen to me? I have named a pricing strategy that is so simple to remember, the Ricky Bobby School of Reselling. Do you understand the Ricky Bobby School of Reselling? Do you look at a product? One of the ones I just sold, I sold some Aqua Velva. How many of you folks would even look at Aqua Velva on a shelf? I had never seen it before. That's because, I'm kind of curious. What the hell is this? I scanned it and there was nobody on it. So it's either brand new or it's old. And where I was in the middle of nowhere, it was probably old. So I look up on Keepa. It had not been in stock in 3 months. It's a $5 product. So should I sell it for $10?
No.
Or should I go, man, look at Keepa, because I have spent the time to do my research, and Keepa goes, the last one sold at $29.99. Let's go to $29.99. I just sold another one. I think I found 6 that day. That's the last
one. Even if you're the only one on it, you might want to go higher than the last sold price too. No, don't get greedy.
I tried that. Amazon said I was not allowed to go any higher. Asshole.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a thing.
I was just going
on eBay. On eBay, though, you have that freedom. So if it was an eBay product and the last one sold for $29.99 and nobody sold any in 3 months, but you see that there was a good selling history on that, then by all means list it for 40 or whatever you got to do. The worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't sell at that price and you have to lower the price a little bit.
All right, so 113 people. The Beard, I've never heard of. I'm new to your channel. Welcome to the channel. What's the Ricky Bobby School of Reselling? It is just straight economics. It is if you ain't first, you're last. And so the whole theory behind it, and it's just, you should have learned this in high school economics, but they were too busy trying to teach you that you are not what you were born as, and that everything you were born as, you have bias against everything because of what you were born as. Economics. If you have a lot of supply and a lot of demand, the price is going to fall. As either one of them changes, price changes. So as supply dwindles up and demand is still there, price starts coming up, because all of a sudden there's not as much out there. Oh my goodness, the price is going up, but there's only fewer left. As supply hits the other side and there's still demand and there's no supply, price really spikes. So from one side of if you ain't first, the supply is not on that side. The supply is not there yet because, it's a brand new product. I just saw this on the shelf. A good example would be a can of Pringles. They come out with these new flavors. I saw one last year. It was cream corn Pringles. They were selling for
delicious.
They were selling for like $14 a can. Walgreens had them on sale for 99 cents. But I saw them later in their product life cycle, a couple months later, and the price is down, less than half of that. And so as people figured it out, and the price, and they were in a bunch of stores, okay, there we go. The price is leveled out. But now, if you found a can that was still in date, which is probably not possible, that on the back side of it, the price will be going back up because you can't find them anymore. Everybody's eating them. They were limited time. Limited time is the best way to see that, the way that product goes through a life cycle. And so you just need to understand if you're at the end and people still want it, like the Aqua Velva, it's at the end of its cycle because they don't make it anymore. I'm the only one selling it. So there is still demand for it because it still sells. It had a nice rank. It was ranked under 100,000, I think.
Even after 3 months of inactivity, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a product you want to be on.
Lisa C said there's something about an Aqua Velva, man. You just showed your age, Lisa. I'm sorry. I've never seen
back a few memories.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never seen that commercial.
Yeah, me either. I don't recall that one.
Okay, so I do. In the middle of the Ricky Bobby's little economic curve, if you're at the bottom, if you're in the middle, you're getting chewed up because everybody has it. Everybody wants to get rid of it because, oh my God, I got to sell something. Look at me, I sold something. I don't know anything about pricing. I just lost money, but I sold it. You're with those folks, and they are a lot of product will move, and demand is high, supply is high, price is bottomed out. And you either need to wait or take your lumps and move on. That's your choices. But understand where you are, that if you wait just a little bit, it starts coming back up again. So there you go. That is pricing strategy. All right, next up, we'll answer Bob's question. Have you gone to an estate sale and not going to ask?
I couldn't understand Bob's question. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah.
I think he's asking something like, I don't know. Maybe if you rephrase the question, Bob, we'll answer it. I think I might have an idea what you're asking, but I'm not 100%.
Okay, so the most effective when you're communicating with folks, the most effective level is about a 5th grade level. Could you type it at a 5th grade level so we understand?
Well, I think that might be no. I'm just sorry, Bob. I'm just messing.
For customer service, how many folks react negatively to anything? Do you cringe when you get a message from a customer?
I used to, but not anymore.
It's something you get used to, and it's once you start looking at it as, that is your way, the point in the sales process where you can help someone. There are some red flags. If somebody's asking a million questions, maybe I'm concerned, but a lot of times, so every now and then I'll make a mistake. I'll have something that I might forget the remote, forget the power cord, forget a video cable, might forget something. So, it's my opportunity to recover that customer and recover their experience and go, I am so sorry about that. I did that one day last week. The order was supposed to have something in it and I forgot. And they sent a message and I'm like, oh my God, I am so sorry. It is laying right here. I will get it out today. And then I followed up with the tracking number. And man, you replied so fast. Thank you so much for taking care of this. How do you treat customers? Because it also tells me the way you treat customers, you're going to treat everything in your business the same way. You're going to treat any suppliers or any people you deal with in stores, and you're going to treat them negatively. If you're at a yard sale and you're treating somebody hateful, but you want them to give you a better price, or if you're looking for something and they ask you, is there something you look for? If you're a hateful person or a person who, you can't put a smile on your face. And I'm an introvert and I can talk to folks when it's in my best interest. Do you truly have the ability to treat this as a business what it is? It's Am I saying I like returns and like dealing with that stuff? I don't like it at all. But I understand that it is part of the game and it is part of my business, and I need to be very good at it, because the less negativity and the more I can turn that situation into just a even if I just maintain my outlook and I don't stick into the negative, that's a win for me. Because the negativity will hang around with you. Just deal with it and move on. Um,
I'd like to add that customer service doesn't just start when somebody asks you a question either. It starts at the beginning of the sale. It's how you ship it. It's how you describe it even. It's every part, every aspect is customer service. Everything. And you wouldn't believe how good feedback you get the better you ship things. Most of my feedback will say how well it was packed.
oh, wait a minute.
That's good customer service.
Yeah, this is a good one here. Did I turn the right one off?
Bob T's question became a lot more clearer, and
Okay,
I would not do it.
Check out the website. I post all kinds of random stuff over there. So there you go. So you learn the estate sale companies, Bob, and there's none here to do early, or none will let you buy something. We have two of them, or two or three that you can purchase online early, and you might be able to pick that up if you. But just to buy something that you haven't pre-bought, just because you're first in line, they're not going to do that. You have to wait till the time. And I will go tomorrow. And Kelly, I hope you're not watching. I don't know how much you watch the show, but I'll get there early, and she will probably be ahead of me.
I gotta say,
we don't buy this.
The one thing I hate the most is when a rummage sale or an estate sale advertises a start time and they've let 20 people in before that start time. I hate it. So I won't do it. I will not. I'll go early to wait in line. And if they're letting people in, I'll go in. But I'm not going to knock on the door and try to get them to sell me stuff early. That is, for me, that's wrong. Now, I know a lot of people do it. If that's your strategy, more power to you, but I don't like it.
So Todd, is not bad some service to pack orders in your underwear, as long as you don't touch the orders with your man parts. There you go.
As long as you don't videotape yourself doing it and then send that to the customer. That would be bad.
We don't need to see that. No one else needs it.
And no, we don't use green bubble wrap. I would if it was cheaper. So price of bubble wrap trumps the greenness of the bubble wrap. So
okay, so next up, failure to understand eBay policies. They have a lot of rules. They have a lot of things that you're supposed to do. And I'd say this is the same thing for Amazon. So the Ed Rosenberg's group yesterday, someone posted on there that they wanted to how is this idea okay? They were having a QR code made, and they were going to stick the QR code on every product, and it directed them to their website where they got a 20% discount to buy their next product on their website. Listen here, dumbass. That is against every rule. If you direct traffic off of Amazon or eBay, eBay is a little more forgiving. You can put your stuff in there, but on Amazon, if you direct sales off their website, they're going to hammer your ass. You're not going to last very long. And he was wanting to know, is that a good idea? You don't understand the rules and policies. Understand. Another person, I saw him on Facebook this week. I bought all these CPAP masks. I've seen a couple sales. Do you think this is a great idea? If you don't understand the rules, it's not a great idea. You can't sell the complete mask. You can sell the mask, but the head strap has to be separate. You can sell the hose, but you can't sell a heated hose for some reason. You can sell the cushions. You can even sell the mask with the cushion as long as the head strap's not there. You can't sell it all together. And so, it's not a great idea because they're going to ban you from selling on eBay because you're not following the rules. This is not eBay's rules. This is the federal government, the lovely imperial federal government, who is power hungry and stupidity in every bit of our business. Those folks. say you can't do it. Same ones who said, I saw them. I picked up 3 of these Corning percolators. Oh, and I just found out I can't sell them on eBay. Everybody going, well, try Macari, try this, try Facebook Marketplace. If it's been recalled, it's illegal to sell even to your grandma.
And the reason it's recalled is because it's going to catch your house on fire.
It's going to
So
burn
it was not ethical.
Or burn your hands, or because the thing comes off.
Or whatever it was. Yeah, whatever the recall was.
I just sit back in somebody's Facebook groups and see what the question is and go,
oh, it's so fun.
Let's go to the comments and see how bad these are. One person on the CPAP one, he says, I used to be in this industry. These are the rules. And he hammered 100%. That guy was spot on. Every other one, just idiots pointing you in the wrong direction. Learn the rules for yourself. Understand the policies. Okay, so you don't know them all. Find some way, find a trusted person. If I tell you something, still please double check. I'm not 100% right. I'm only like 98.3% right. So make sure you're not one of the 1.7.
I'm slightly less right than Scott is.
But there's still things I have questions about. So I will search eBay and Amazon to come up with answers, or I will ask people that I trust who know different parts of reselling that I don't know. So
Noblest D wants to know how you find out about recalled items. Type in the term recalled items in Google, and it'll probably get you to a government website that gives you an idea what items are recalled. I don't exactly know where to go, but there is a website out there that gives you everything.
So Tamara, you can donate those things if just because it has an RX on it. Like to a friend, maybe check and see if anybody has it. It'll be hard to donate it to a thrift store because technically they're not allowed to sell it either, even though you see it all the
time. There was a store I bought. I must have bought. They were like 50 cents. I can't remember what they were, but I got them home and I noticed that they said RX only on them. Threw them all away.
Here's what you do, Tamara. Don't throw it away. Take it back to your doctor's office. As long as they'll know it's sealed, that would be allowed. That because so it happens. So Joni, y'all all know she volunteers at the cancer center 2 days a week. So one of the ladies up there who volunteers, husband had cancer and he was in hospice. He unfortunately passed away a couple of weeks ago. It's been very, very difficult for her. But he had a lot of home medical supplies and things for the past couple of years that she took back over to the cancer center, and they are able to, people that are less fortunate and can't afford a lot of these things, he had a brand new CPAP machine. He had several things that they were able to bless others with because, not if you've tried to go price a CPAP machine. If without insurance, good luck. There's several $1,000s for the normal ones.
On my travels, I drove by a hospital, and in their parking lot, the entrance to the parking lot had a sign, medicine buyback day or take back day, not buyback day. They're not going to buy it from you. So a lot of hospitals will have a special day that you can go and redonate all that. I don't know what they do with it, but
stuff like
legit way to take it.
Will have seals, stuff like insulin will have seals. Medical equipment will have stuff that if they're able to donate one that's been slightly used CPAP machine, that is much better for someone than not having one. A lot of people have to make that choice, especially older people who are living on fixed incomes. Can you even if you've got a copay? Realize you're paying 80% of $2,000. That's still $400. That's still a large number. Is that I do the math right? 20%, 200. I'm sorry, that's $800. Is it eight? No, somebody did the math for me. Damn it.
Not me. I'm not a maths.
Damn it. I got it. I do my own math. $2,000 times 0.2. It is 400. I was correct. Good job for me. Yeah. So, yep. And okay. So you want to make a little money on a CPAP machine, you can't sell them. Second Wind will buy them back. Secondwind.com. If they're in good shape and certain models and certain number of hours, secondwind.com, that is a good resource. Actually ran into someone who had a CPAP somewhere or was telling me about one, and I explained that to him. That was at a sale Saturday. So secondwind.com is a good source for that.
Greg says he won't have come if he knew there was a math test involved. Apparently, he wouldn't have come if there was an English test involved either. Where he wrote that sentence.
Yeah, I didn't study either. My teachers, Lord bless their hearts, that growing up, they always told me that learn how to do the math because you'll never carry a calculator around your whole life. Boy, were they wrong.
Bob T wants to know what the fuel costs in Ohio. Yesterday, I filled up for $2.89. I got home and it had gone up to $3.29. So the fuel costs are liquid in Ohio, just like they are everywhere else. But I'm using about $15 to $18 a day in gas, so I have to make it a little extra every day to pay for that.
Port shipping and handling is next up. Learn how to ship. Learn how to ship. It's not that. Okay, so it is that difficult. It's the hardest thing you're gonna learn in reselling on eBay is shipping, and it's not the putting it in a box and make sure it gets there. That part is learnable. It's the cost. How many times does a new reseller lose their ass in shipping and quit? Learn shipping. It's one I talk about a lot, but I don't know how much is really talked about out there for new people. Shipping is very difficult because there's so many factors, from size of a package to where it's going, to different carriers. Different carriers have different rates. Different platforms have different rates for these same carriers. They're third parties. It is just insane how much shipping, and also, for me, convincing you that buying that 41-cent box saves you money, spending $42 at Supply Hut co-bearded saves you a ton of money because, that's a 24 count weight box versus a 32 weight box. That box will save you a couple ounces per box. If you use that on an 11-ounce product, you're going to save $1 over the 13-ounce price. Okay, so you just save 60 cents by spending 40. A lot of people cannot get that through their heads. But I went and climbed in a dumpster and got this box for free. Yeah, whatever. They don't include their time, and what it takes to prep a box, and how difficult it is to store so many of these. And then how long does it take you to figure out? I can have it shipped by the time you figure out what size box it is over there in the big box pile. I can have it done.
I'm guilty of the big box pile, but I also have, for the stuff that I sell a lot of, I know that I need, there's certain sizes of boxes I always keep in stock that are brand new. Supply Hut 7x4x4s. I love those boxes. And the 7x4x2s, I love those boxes, so I keep a bunch of that stuff in stock. But for other things, I don't always. I don't sell like the VCR DVD combos as much as you do, so I don't keep those boxes in stock. But if I were to, I would definitely keep them.
So how much are the 6x6 boxes at Walmart? Anybody know?
I think they've gone up to like 57 or something. They're not super expensive. I used to buy a lot of them. They are a heavier box though.
Let's go to Walmart.
But they're not super expensive. When I say heavier, I think they're the 32 edge crush, so they're a little bit heavier duty box.
6x6x6 shipping box.
You can definitely get them cheaper on Supply Hut. But if you're in a pinch, Walmart's a great place to go for a couple of different boxes.
So it looks like they're the same price on I'm like, damn, who always opened the door? Come out here. Looks like they're the same price for 25 on Supply Hut and Walmart, but due to the kindness of my heart, I've given you a code to save 5%. So there you go. And you get the lighter box, which is the lighter box is
Yes.
going to save you money as well.
But if you're in a pinch, I'll tell you, I've used a ton of Walmart boxes.
Are you looking for me? Were you looking for me? Everybody wants to see your hair because I told him you're part rooster. Watch this. Shh. Shh. You part rooster, buddy.
I mean, kind of a stretch there, but
Look at the hair. Look at the rooster hair.
play along.
Well, her hair is short everywhere else except for right there. See, look, there is no hair there. Except for the rooster head. Phoebe the rooster. Were you wondering where I was at and just come to see me? You want to tell everybody hi? And tell them you've had enough and you're leaving? Okay. I don't have any the T word out here. Yeah, she's a German Shepherd. Let's see. We only have one more, and we kind of covered it a little bit. I had to cut one time just to knock off the top. A little bit of greens coming through, so and kind of get rid of the old ineffective marketing strategies. We talked a little bit about using for pricing, but do you do promoted listings? I would tell you it has become so cutthroat in promoted listings. How often do you restart them? Do you just do promoted listings once and never ever touch it again? Also, on Amazon, they spend tons of time teaching people to use pay-per-click. So if do you understand pay-per-click? Do you can go one way or the other. You can go either Kristen or John. You can build beautiful listings that have awesome keywords and spend the money on that end, because remember, using the keyword programs and that kind of stuff is not free. So a lot of people like to, she kind of falsely, I'm not taking anything negative about Kristen. She's one of my favorite Amazon people, but some of the things she uses have a subscription. But pay-per-click is way more expensive, ton more expensive. And so, do you know how to make a proper listing and use keywords, or do you continue to pay for every sale? So
I would add that sending offers to buyers on eBay is a huge marketing strategy, and it gets me sales every single time. Now, I might send out 100 offers and get 5 sales, but that's 5 sales I probably wouldn't have had. And I'm not knocking that much money off the price usually. If it's a $15 item, I'll send them an offer for $12.99 or something like that. Plus shipping.
Sufficient picking my payouts in yesterday, and they come Thursday, so it'll be tomorrow before I know. But if you tune in on Rumble tomorrow night, I'll let you know.
Duck Trader says never had a sale from sending offers. I don't know. For me, it does well.
Okay, next ticker up. So I made a Facebook page. Hey, come follow me over there. I put a lot of news and stuff over there, and I've been posting older videos over there and fun stuff. So I'm on Facebook too. So if you're bored on Facebook. All right. So y'all have made it through the end of 10. Man, y'all are troopers. 121 people have made it to the end of 10. The 10 reasons why there are bad resellers. And the big lesson here is if you think of all these things, you want to do the opposite. Lag dropped his hot pocket. Well, your mom's got a mess to clean up, Lag.
And thinking Lag's probably just going to eat it off the floor.
That's true. Yeah, if I would have dropped the hot pocket, Phoebe would now have a hot pocket. or Franklin. Speaking of Franklin, sup, buddy? What are you doing? What are you doing, happy boy? What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Are you coming to see me or what? Look, everybody. It's me, Franklin. What's up, buddy? What's up, little one? I know you're so sweet, aren't you? You're a little love bug, aren't you? You want to tell everybody? Did you come in here to poop in Daddy's building? You look like you're on a mission. Are you over there to poop in the building? Did you come inside to poop in the building? I don't know what you're in here doing. Brush it off.
Good.
Trying to sell hearing aid batteries on eBay, like zero traffic. You
can go to Dollar Tree and buy cheap hearing aid, those little tiny batteries, and that's a problem.
Also, they have, if you go to Amazon and look at those same things, there are so many Chinese cheap batteries. I was looking for so this watch right here, battery is a good one. So I'm selling this at the auction. SpongeBob watch did real good last year or sometime. So that's a SpongeBob blue watch. I needed the ARG 10 or whatever it is for this. I didn't have one. But you could buy 10 of those batteries for $3, right. 20 for $4, 30 right. for $5. Harlan goes, man, I got a whole bunch of them, and gave me one for free. So that one. But those batteries, man, are they
John Jones has a really good point. Offers sent when you have multiple watchers seems to be more successful. I don't send offers to things that have one watcher on them. Usually it's 2 or more, and sometimes I'll do it when it's 3 or 4 or more. And I have okay success. You're not gonna spend 10 or 15 minutes sending these offers out, and you get 4 or 5 sales from it. It's pretty decent.
All right, so I have this guy, the Pokemon. I have him listed for 70. He on sale for 61, and we just got an offer for 48.
I don't know that item, so
it cost me $4. Should I take the $48?
Well, what do we factor into that? How much you have into it, number one. What are others selling it for, number two? How bad do you need the money, number three? That's sometimes that filters in.
Do I need the space?
Yeah, that's another concern. How long has it been listed is another concern.
I've had it for a long time. It hasn't been listed that long, but I've had it.
Well, listed. How long has it been listed? Yeah. So those are the factors I would put in. If I paid $5 for it, and it was selling generally for $50 to $60, and somebody offered me $48, I would probably sell it.
Oh, it's sold. Don't worry. I've sold it. It's sold. But yeah.
But there's so many factors that go into a decision-making process like that.
You cannot still find it, Brenda. You can't still find it. That one was very hard to find. They made like 3 or 4 different variations. That was one of the crazy variations. They bought it.
For me, the sale is more important than getting top dollar. And if it's a reasonable offer, I'm probably going to take it.
Okay, Brian, I'm gonna telepathically tell you to look at the screen, and I will tell you where the Facebook page is. That's just a page.
That hurt.
That's just my page. I'm working on a group. The group's not public. The group's only with the class right now. But I'm working on making the group something different. Right there, that is the page. First thing I'm going to do is walk over to the bins and make sure I can put my hands on it. And once I put my hands on it, I'll accept the offer.
Absolutely. I do that every time I accept an offer, just to make sure I still have that item. Because if I accept it and I don't have it, then I got to cancel an order, not in stock. Because I won't lie to eBay. I'm going to tell them I didn't have it, if I can't find it.
I won't lie to
eBay. I might lie to eBay on occasion, but you know what I'm saying. If I'm gonna be honest in my business, just like I am everywhere else. Is what I'm trying to say. But
All right, so we have started back over the banners. Go get your repricer. Love Aura. Love Aura.
if you sell enough stuff, you don't have to worry about canceling an item here and there. And if you're not worried about top rated and all that stuff.
So Bob T, I used to worry about that, but now that I am
Never.
I am an eBay snob over most of you peons. And, if I do get a negative feedback, I will call concierge service, because I'm special. And I can tell concierge, man, look at this person. All they do is leave negatives. I did exactly, I took good pictures. Nothing, whatever they said is just them being them. They will take it off for me. So I generally don't worry about that.
I may have checked it on occasion, but it's not something that
somebody
I
that
do because why?
You can make the case that that's a bad buyer, and that's an easy one. I wouldn't even worry about it. Let them do what they're going to do. You can make the case that's a bad buyer, and they abuse the system. And yep, no problem.
The last time I checked, I sold an item to a guy. Something told me go check his feedback because something seemed fishy about he asked a lot of questions or something. And I checked, I sold him the item, he left me positive feedback. Didn't matter. If you sell the item correctly, sometimes you get shitty buyers. But if you still do your job the right way, maybe you'll be that one or two that he leaves a good feedback for. And I always have been. Every time I've checked into that. Never gotten a bad feedback from those people.
Yeah, so if you and two, all that energy and effort you're used on doing that, you could have listed 2 other items. And so I hope everyone has taken notes, and you're now going to the 10 things up there. Man, you guys are going to be rock stars.
When I go to Walmart to buy an item, I don't, or when I go to a Walmart to buy an item, they don't check my ID at the door and see what I'm doing there, or if I've had any past discrepancies. So I treat my business the same way. I don't check up on my buyers.
So somebody sent me an interesting article last night. Speaking of, we're talking about refunds.
Although I wouldn't put it past Walmart to start doing things like that.
There's a report on Yahoo that Amazon is going to begin flagging frequently returned items products. So it looks like we might have finally reached a tipping point where Amazon is going to finally do something about all these returns, or at least they're at the point where the returns are. I don't know about everyone else and their sales here lately. If you're an Amazon seller, returns have been out of control. I have had so many returns. And just awful returns. I mean, do I need to check the mailbox today to get a pair of used Maidenform stretchy pants that all they did was ball up and throw in a bubble mailer and send back? Amazon puts it in a bag and sends it to me. There's no packing. There's no anything. There's just, where else in the world can you buy something, throw away all the packaging and get 100% of your money back? There's nowhere else. Amazon.
Yeah, I had a buyer buy a DVD from me. It was an exercise DVD for older people. It was marketed for older people, so they bought it for an older person. When they got it and opened it and used it, brand new DVD, they decided it wasn't good enough for their older person that they bought it for. They sent it back to me. This is eBay. I gave them 50%.
Damn right.
They opened it. And I don't do that often. But gosh darn it, now I can't sell the damn thing as new. It goes for $25 new. It goes for $7 used. It's going in the donate pile because I can't sell it now. I will lose money on. Well, I won't lose anything. I mean, damn DVD cost me $1, or less at Goodwill. But yeah, I have no problem giving you a half off if you've done that. But Amazon, it's a lot harder to do that kind of thing.
Yes, lag. I can't repeat them. The first one, KMA. That's the first one. But it's so, that would be very nice for them to do something, because the FBA process has been abused and abused and abused, and it
Kiss
really
my ass. Oh, okay, I got it.
that's it. Yeah. And it really that would be a significant change to whole. I mean, even if okay, so even to combat returns, Amazon, I'm gonna have this crazy idea here that's really gonna be out of this world crazy. You have some of the most liberal return policies in the world. How about you just enforce your damn policies? How about when it says 30 days, you mean 30 days, not 6 months later, and someone goes, I just pulled this out of my ass and I don't really like it anymore. I want a refund. And then all of a sudden I get a refund for an item that was FBA because you gave us the authority and we made the one-time decision to grant this customer a refund. When you should have told that customer, I'm sorry, it's past the return period. Choose more wisely. You got 6 months out of it. You used it for 6 months. This is not a rental. This is not what's one of these rental places? ABC. This is not Aaron's. That's a good one. You know, that's what they do.
Are they still right?
I get quite a few DVDs returned that are open. You go, in my short life here, I have never opened and played a DVD that didn't work. Never. If it was brand new, never. Did I stutter? Never.
On a rare occasion when they're loose in the case, that might cause it not to. But I've never even had one of those not play.
And I've never either. It's not. Yeah, Dustin, they have a habit of doing that. I've gotten a few free items, but it's enforce your own policies. That would clean up a lot. If you stop allowing people to abuse the system, you know, if you got a zero return on, how about you tell them, I'm sorry, your ability to return a product is going to be greatly scrutinized. We understand what you're doing. You know, when someone, and on eBay, when somebody has solid proof that they returned a different item, every item that I sell, like a DVD player or whatever, I put the serial number in the description. There's no mistakes. There's no anything. I type I put all attributes. I go down to condition and I put the serial number, every single one.
I have not done that. I take a picture of it, but I have not. But I don't have a lot of issues. I've never had one returned falsely. As far as a different unit, I've never gotten the wrong unit back.
I've gotten different ones before and different things.
I've had people send me empty things, and eBay stepped in and took care of that for me. But it's only happened a couple of times.
It doesn't happen much, but you've got to. But okay, so we've got 116 folks. Hey, everybody. Everybody would go, well, this happened to me a couple times. This happened to me a couple times. Now you're 300 or 400 of just us, just barely a small scratch in a den of resellers. So so now there's 300. So, you extrapolate this by how many resellers there are, and then the dollar figure that this costs, platforms and everything. Because remember, platforms end up taking a lot of the eBay took care of me. Well, they did a one-time thing where they reimbursed both parties. So eBay lost in this deal. So how much money do the platforms need to lose? Because someone is blatant. Credit cards get stuck in the middle of this too, because all the false chargebacks. You are a victim of that craziness. Because people have learned how to abuse the system, and they are so entitled.
Tina, you're wrong. The reason that she does not offer free returns on eBay, you're wrong about that. And the reason you're wrong about that is because if you offer free returns on eBay, you have actually more protection with eBay than you do if you don't.
Correct.
So I offer free returns, and my return rate has not gone up ever. And I've been off. When did they start that free returns program? A couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Right.
Ever since they started it. And I'm not trying to pick on you or anything, Tina. I might have said that a little harshly, but I will not go on eBay without free returns. I won't do it because for me, it's better. Like that DVD, I could give them 50% back because they opened it. Without the free returns, I can't do that. I don't think you can do that unless they've changed policies.
So Flip it good. I received an FBM return the other day. It was 6 months old. Fortunately, the customer had not taken the poly bag off, so it's still sellable. It doesn't matter. That they would not have got a return. I would not have honored the return, even if they sent it back on their dime. Sorry.
You
have to draw a line. Policies are there for a reason. Right now, if I decided that I wanted to return, I don't know, something I bought at Walmart, I've got a receipt and it's 45 days old. What do you think Walmart's going to tell me? What
Walmart, I don't know. If it's electronics, they'll tell you to pound salt for sure.
Walmart's going to scan the receipt and it's no good. I'm telling you. They're going to scan the receipt and tell me it's outside the date. It's just.
I have a 60-day return policy on. No, I went to 30 days. Nobody's ever going to return something 30 days later, generally. If you offer a free return policy on eBay, it gives your buyers more confidence in the beginning. You're attracting a better class of buyer, I think, when you have free return policy. And I've never had issues with it. None. Zero. eBay's always had my back on it. So
okay,
that's why
I do it. I do the free returns, because there are benefits. But let me tell this for everybody who says, I don't do free returns. I don't accept returns at all. Understand this on eBay. If I lie and open a not as described case, you're taking it back. And listen to me when I tell you that you're going to get the return back. And instead of and even if I paid shipping, the little thing where you can change it to charge me the shipping, it's not going to be there. You're going to give me 100% complete refund of all my money, because even if I lied, I said it was not as described, that you made a mistake, and eBay is going to side with me every single time, and you're going to lose. 100% promise you're going to lose.
That's why you have free returns. I didn't say this eloquently.
I can say that this watch, I can say that the band was not the same color as in the picture. It was not described very accurately. I'm not happy with it. This thing was not as described. That is my opinion. That is very light on the edge, and this flaw of the band being faded was not disclosed by the seller. You're screwed every time.
If you don't do free returns. Yes. If you do, and Lisa says she doesn't offer it on shoes, not paying shipping to have someone try them. You don't have to give them their shipping back. And they're going to be more honest with you on that return reason. Most of my returns on shoes, which I don't sell a lot of, have come back do not fit, as opposed to item not as described, because I offer free returns.
Okay, so that is a misnomer. Steve's 100% correct. So items as they get larger, I charge shipping. So shoes, I will charge shipping, usually $11 or $12.95, whatever it is. If you return the shoes and say they didn't fit or whatever, fine, I'll take the return and I'm paying their shipping back, but you're not getting your original shipping back. Never.
Exactly.
Never.
And that's on everything you have free returns on. You don't have to pay the original shipping back, unless it comes back item not as described. I almost never have item not as described. Almost never, because I offer free returns. So that means to the buyer, it's a psychology thing. The buyer says, damn, I can return this for free. I don't have to. Yeah, but they don't look deep into it to say, oh my God, I might not get my shipping back. They just see free returns on my thing. So they know that they can send it back. And they get the return label from me. Yes, I pay for that, but they don't get their original shipping.
So Mark says, weird, wants me to request approval to sell Sega and new, but allows use. That's not weird. It happens all the time. It happens a lot. Sony is the biggest one I know of. It happens a lot in Sony. Happens a lot with HP. There are several brands that LG is another one. Some of these huge brands that you're not an authorized distributor, but you can sell it used.
Junk Trader, I do not charge shipping on all items. So yes, I will have to pay return shipping on things on a rare occasion that it comes back. We're talking about what, 2% or less of all the sales you make get returned on eBay. I mean, it's very little. Now I've had an increase in returns lately. I sold this computer monitor 3 times. It's a laptop replacement computer, the monitor, the screen. Guess where it's at now? in the garbage can because I've already had it returned 3 times because it didn't fit or they ordered the wrong part. Now I have free returns, so they didn't get their shipping back every time, but they always chose the correct reason as opposed to item not as described because I have free returns.
Remember,
It makes them more honest.
if you get too many INADs, they will raise your fees to sell in that category.
Yeah. There's a lot of benefits to offering free returns. I know you guys, some of you are stubborn and won't believe me, but
so the key is if you're going to offer free returns, do more charging for shipping. That's the combination that works the best. With the first class stuff, I don't worry about it, but I have gotten to the point now where almost anything that's not going to be that I look at is not going to be first class. I'll charge the shipping on it because if it comes back, it's a little more expensive, and so at least I only lose shipping. The free return, I only lose shipping once because they're going to lose shipping once. That's
and eBay has your back so much more on when you offer that. If you don't offer free returns, and then you'll see it in all the Facebook. Well, eBay screwed me. No, they didn't. You screwed yourself because you didn't offer your customers something that you probably should have.
So free shipping is also a factor in search, and so if you're trying to get oh my God, I can't. I'm on second page, third page. I can't seem to compete with all these people, but I don't offer returns. There's reasons why that you're, these jeans have been listed for 6 months. I don't promote listings. I don't take returns. And yeah, there's reasons. There's bad listings and bad listing practices. You got to understand the system, understand the rules. Wait a minute. So I made these jeans free returns, even though I charge shipping. You'll be amazed in the customer's perception. Every time I look at the no returns, I look at it and think, for the person, if I have any kind of problems, this person's going to be a problem. Going to be an asshole. That's the first thing I think of. And I on eBay, I will look at other listings because I generally don't buy from people with no returns because that's going to be a problem at some point. If I something happens, that's going to be a problem. Like I bought some used ink cartridges and the folks take returns because I'm going to put them in this printer back here to sell it on Amazon. They said, well, we fill them up as much as you can fill them up. Sometimes it just says that all you have to do is hit the X in the thing and it'll print. I'm like, I can't give that to one of my customers every time they turn the printer on saying that the damn ink has expired. And so they're getting it back, but they take returns. If I could have got that one with a not as described pretty easy but they just sent me a label. They're one of the ones that they have to approve the label or whatever it is. So it took them a couple of days. But
that's another thing. I don't even approve the labels. I just let eBay do that for me.
Let them do it. Send it on.
You know why? Because it's good customer service. It's just, why make somebody fight for it? Especially if it's something I did wrong. Why would I make them fight for that? It's coming back regardless.
That's 100% correct, Tamara. I rarely return anything. I just don't. Only reason I return those is those are $26 in ink that I can't use, that don't work, that I'm going to buy again. So I'm not willing to spend $52 on ink that I should have only paid $26. So they
now, if I buy something in error, I have a hard time returning that because I'm a seller and I know. So if I buy it in error and it doesn't fit my thing, I probably am not going to return it, depending on the price of the item. If it's a very high priced item, I'm going to return it. But otherwise, if it's the seller's fault, I'll return it, and they're going to offer me a return because I'll just claim it's not as described because it isn't if it's their fault. Now, if it's,
but this is another one of those areas where people, I would tell you, you're a bad reseller. They make returns and they put so much emphasis on it, and they're so worried about 1% to 2% of their business that they can't focus on doing things correctly. They can't look at a return and go, did I have anything? So I got a Hot Wheels return the other day. Evidently, there was a different model in the same packaging of the one I had, and I didn't catch it. That was my fault. And it came back immediately, and I'm thinking, what the hell? And I start looking until I finally realize, wait a minute, there's a second version of the same car in the same packaging that I had no idea about. That was totally my fault that guy returned it immediately. You know, sometimes the return is your fault. And when you put yourself in such a negative mood, you put yourself, it's hard to keep your motivation up. It's hard to keep your positive attitude up. It's hard. And the more you focus on the negative, the more you allow 2% of your business to ruin your entire day, your entire week, your entire outlook. It's you got to focus on what's important. You got to focus on what's positive. I can't tell you how much better off in the long run you'll be. On Amazon, I get a lot of FBA returns. They show up whenever they show up. I'm telling you, I don't look at them. I made a rule, and I tell you this all the time. I made a rule that goes to a folder. I never see it. I deleted them the other day. I deleted like 6,000 of them from the last 5 years or whatever it is, some crazy number.
I can tell you one thing about the returns. On Amazon, I ignore them. If they come back, they come back. When it does, if it's an FBM item, I'll refund them when it gets here. I don't even care. I don't even pay that much attention to it. Same with eBay. If I get a return, I get a return. Me offering free returns with Amazon, with auto accepting the return, has taken all the stress out of it, all of it, until it gets here and I have to check it over. Once I check it over and it's how they said it was supposed to be, then they get their refund. If it's anything less than they said, then they get a partial refund. I mean, it's so much less stressful to let it go.
So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's one thing you can do is really help me out as well, is find an outlet for your returns. Find a place to donate them, to do some good for someone. Also I sell at a local auction. Use your time and effort to find something an outlet, where you can resell them at a local. But we don't have anything like that. Well, consider starting it. There's Jason Deason has started his own high bid. You can sell on high bid. You can do these things. Just
except
because,
in
Ohio. Find out what your local laws are. But be a person who finds solutions, who doesn't find problems. Examine the returns and go, what can I have done better? Could I have taken different pictures? Could I have included this in the description? Take the 2 seconds instead of being all mad and angry, look at it and go, what caused this? What could I do? Is there anything in my power that I could have done to have changed this? And so that now moving forward, every time that I see an item like this, you reduce the risk of that one ever coming back and any other items coming back, because you have learned and you are a better reseller because your experience tells you, I need that 5th picture. I need to say, hey, there's a small scratch on the top of this that's barely visible. See the picture for the scratch. What can you do? What can you learn? And if you look at it with that kind of effort, you'll be amazed how many other things you find and how much more positive other aspects of your business are, because you're not dreading opening a message from an eBay seller, an eBay customer or anything. You're just going to handle business, take an opportunity to handle business, and get about your life. You are very fortunate to be able to do this, folks. Ask somebody who's got a retail store, what kind of margins they've got and what kind of return rates they got. You don't know what you don't know until you actually talk to someone who is in the retail business and understands that their facilities are up to 80% and their return rates are 20 to 30% normal. You just don't know until you get out of your box and realize we are blessed to have the ability to sell this online with such small return rates, because the vast majority of people are like me and Steve. They just don't want to take the time to throw it in the mail. They've already got it. It was not a significant amount of money. They'll figure out a way to use it. The longer somebody has it, in Christmas, they're not out to get you. It's psychology, folks. There's a reason there's 90-day return rates. It's because it encourages people to buy them early in November for a gift. They know that they've got the same return period that's going to be open on December 25th. And the longer somebody has a product, the less likely they are to return it. So it works on both sides, even though everybody goes, oh my God, they're extending the return rates. They're going to kill me. Look, I've got more returns. It's proof that I'm right. I got more returns. You sold more in December. It's a percentage, you dummy. It takes,
If you're going to run a business, look at it like a business.
It's a business.
Businesses take returns, and that's that. And they take free returns a lot of the time. I mean, if I can walk into Walmart and return something, so we have to compete with that, and it sucks sometimes. But here's another thing: I'm not going to make my buyer jump through hoops to send a return either. So by offering the free return and offering the automatic label, that's all they got to do is open a return request. That's it. They never have to message me. I don't have to talk to them. Nothing. It just comes in the mail. And when it comes in the mail, I give them their money generally. That's it.
So it's a part of maturing as a seller. It's a part of learning how to protect your business, and your business is you, folks. It is, that's why I focus so much, and so much so that I'm trying to do every Sunday something on motivation. So why is motivation important to me, and what I listen to, and I listen to a 3-hour podcast on motivation and dopamine and getting rid of procrastination, because it's truly, the better you can be, the better reseller you are, because your mindset, the more motivated you are, the more positive you are, the more your mind's in the right place, the much better off you're going to be. Anybody can learn this stuff. Anybody can learn shipping. Anybody can learn things to buy, and what effort anybody can be a reseller. It is not rocket science. The part that is the hardest is up here. It's how positive, how motivated, you don't have a boss anymore. There's nobody there to tell you to get your ass up and go to work. And you absolutely, positively are responsible for yourself. And so make your life better, make your mental life better by focusing on the positive, focusing on what you can control. And that 1% to 2%, it's going to happen, folks. It just is. I don't care how good you are. It's going to happen.
Returns and things like that don't matter to me so much that I have no clue what my percentage is.
I don't either.
I bet you it's about 2%. I haven't looked at that probably in 2 years. I said, screw it. It doesn't matter to me.
That as returns here lately have gotten a little more frequently, is made me change my return. It has made me charge shipping a lot more on eBay. Also on Amazon, you can give an 80% return with no pictures and no reason. Just tell them why. You don't have to tell them why. That the product is not materially the same as, or immaterially the same as it was, and you can keep the 20%. That covers that covers your shipping. And most time, if you hit the 80% and keep 20%, they never even notice. Worst comes to worst, if they open a case, you provide the pictures, Amazon will side with you. For the most part, on 20%, they'll cover 20%. Every now and then, they don't follow their own policies, but for the most part, they do.
What, Amazon not following their own policy?
I mean, most of the time, and you hear someone like me, when I'm trying to help explain these things, I will tell you, Amazon got me on an A to Z claim a couple times the last few weeks, didn't follow their own policies. But you never hear of the 30 other times they did follow, and they did what they were supposed to, and there was no problem. You just hear you just hear the bad, and you understand that when you're watching. If you spend a lot of time in social media and listen to a lot of resellers, understand that, as much as we tell you what happens bad, whenever somebody's outsourcing at a yard sale or whatever, they don't show you the 10 crappy yard sales they went to in order to get to the one item. They don't show you the bad sourcing. If they have a bad sourcing trip, they show you a perspective that, this is what people want to watch. They don't want to see me have a bad day. And so you get a happy picture on one side and oh my God, this happened to me on the other. And you never get a normal baseline, things just things happen
All right.
to everyone.
Tina's going to turn on free returns for the month of April and see if it changes anything. It
All
may
right.
not change your sales, but it'll change your attitude for sure, I
But
think.
understand, Tina, if if it's shoes and that kind of stuff, make sure that you're you do the change of shipping as well on some of those things. Anything that's not first class, I would look at, even if it's just changing it, reduce the price and add the shipping. I mean, it's
And also remember, we're not clothing sellers. So
yeah.
things may be a little different in that situation. I don't know. I'm giving you a general overall view of how I do things on eBay. Now, the little bit of clothing I sell still has free returns on it.
No lag. The test is not over. I don't know what the test is going to be, but you need to be tested every day.
It's a long-standing social experiment, lag.
Mark, no
You're
one
playing well into it.
Well, see, the hard problem about talking about taxes, Mark, is understanding that if you're not a professional and give out bad advice, um, I don't want to incur any kind of liability for taxes, for giving out something that could be construed as legal professional advice. Also, because everybody's situation is completely different. I'd be talking to you from the point of an S corporation filing corporate taxes on March 15th and personal taxes on April 15th. That doesn't occur to everyone. There are a lot of sole proprietors, and whether you have home offices or whether you expense the car or take the mileage, or whether you do accrual accounting or cost accounting, there are so many factors. Do you have employees? Do you have dependents? Everybody's tax situation and the amount of money they need to put back per. So it is so personal. It is hard to talk about taxes. It just, and heaven forbid you tell somebody the wrong thing and they don't realize, I tell you all the time, best thing I ever did in this business was get an accountant. It relieved a lot of the pressure off me and not having to deal with that. I need to do that. I need to do my February spreadsheet for today's your lucky day, Jared. You're not listening, but damn it, I'm gonna do the spreadsheet this morning.
Wow. John, you don't have to. You don't have to pay taxes if you don't want to, John. Now, okay. I can't tell you what the consequences will be. But
okay, so there's your tax right there. There's the show tax. I set up buy me a coffee. Just trying to be Commonwealth picker.
I think he's going to win.
Yeah, Commonwealth's definitely going to win for sure. Damn it, Kevin.
What I would say about taxes and fees for selling on these platforms is save out more than you think it's going to be. Yep. So right now, like for my driving stuff, every day 20% goes into a savings, 20% of whatever I made that day, every day. And that's the first thing I do. Well, first thing I do is take the gas out of it, and then I go and do that. But it's on the full amount, and it's probably about right. I mean, I think it's a little high, but I'm guessing high, And so my wife does the same thing with hers.
Yeah, the problem is everyone is completely different, and so you need to understand. I mean, that is a bad thing. Nobody discusses the fact that just because you made of that little figure that I paid $5 for that I sold for 48, 25% of that for the most part is not mine. 25% of the profit is not mine. Understanding, I try to tell people things, get a mileage tracker, do the things that help you get the most benefit. Use a separate checking account so it's easier for you to keep track of every bit of thing and only use it. Separate your business so you only use it for business, so you don't miss the fact that I just paid for boxes on Supply Hut using Bearded and well, damn, somehow I missed that and didn't take my deduction for it. Separate your accounts. You can get checking accounts cheap. They'll come with a debit card. Buy with that, use that to take your cash out. I mean, separate everything so that every time you buy something, use the second debit card. It's a lot of simple things you can do to help reduce your exposure due to the fact that you're not missing any deductions.
Mark, I would say if you're paying that much in taxes, you probably ought to consult a professional and see if you're ready for an S corp. We were never ready for an S corp, so we stayed in LLC. But it would have been nice to get to that level, but we never did, not yet anyway.
Oh, so not only have we sold, we got the offer, and I have 4 sales on Amazon in this show. There's a $9 sale on eBay, and I talked up Big Girl. Hey, Big Girl, I appreciate it. Big Girl, use the coupon. She got a hell of a deal right there because they were $9.99, so they're off 12% for the until tax day, and then she got the quantity discount on top of it. So
there you go.
Yeah, good job, Big Girl. Appreciate that. Where are these going? I don't even know where they're going.
I'm not familiar with Mark. I'm not familiar with Mark II. I just know that I've
met Mark II. He's a good guy. I've not heard a bad thing about Mark II.
I'm not familiar.
I talked to him for several minutes, and he seems very knowledgeable. But it's very limited exposure. I know he has quite a few, and I think his whole entire business is now resellers. He does have a YouTube channel. He's active on social media. I'm sure he can give you plenty of references, but he seems to know what he's doing. Anissa, not necessarily. So S corp is different for every state, and that's another one why it's hard to tell people and give anybody kind of advice, because you need a CPA to be able to look at your state and look at where you are to understand. Because for one thing, every state's the same. You've got to have payroll, so you've got to, I go through a payroll service that pays me a paycheck every 2 weeks, because I'm required to draw a salary that's commensurate with the income. So, but each state is different. Each state has their own laws of how they handle it. And when Jared did the numbers, it was very advantageous in the state of Alabama through their tax laws. And so I have a S corp here, but he said if you live 12 miles north into Tennessee, he would recommend against it.
Hey, Brenda, I was wrong on the size of those. I have 7x7x4s I use a lot, not 7x4x4. I think a 7x4x4 would probably fit in a platted flat rate.
Yeah, it will fit, because the largest one you can get in there is 9x6x3.
Yeah, it should.
So
I said 2 4s when it should have been 2 7s.
So it just, every situation is so completely different. And also it depends on your sales, okay. So especially with me, and so look at me, I am a reseller. So I track eBay, Amazon, but I have a lot more deductions because I'm a YouTuber. You can making videos and going places and doing things makes a lot more deductions available, because my corporation, I'm the only employee, and it's reselling and social media. So that's why it's so different with taxes. It is worth it every single year to spend 30 minutes to an hour, whatever it costs for a local CPA, to look over your situation, to have a set of questions, come up with 8, 10, 12, 15 questions that you want someone to look at your personal situation and know the laws of your state and your area, and to give you professional advice of what you can do. They are there it is in their best interest to tell you how to save money, because a lot of times their services can save you money. I pay Jared handsomely every month, and he saves me that much money and then some. So carry on.
I hired Jared so that I would stay out of jail. No, I don't, or not get an audit
There's a lot
because
of
I have no clue what I'm doing.
there's a lot of good feelings whenever you're not the one. You're having someone else professionally look over your numbers. It's takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. Marketing, you hadn't found the right one because there shouldn't be too many questions. You know, that's you're paying for their time. You know, that's why I say block off a pet at a time. Get your questions answered.
Well, he says he tried to hire one last month, and he said she ripped him off for $800. It's not cheap to hire an accountant. I know Jared went up this year for just preparing taxes, but what did she rip you off? What is your, reason? Why do you think she ripped you off? Because it's not cheap, but it's worth it in the end.
Correct.
I would try to find one that knows a little bit about reselling, like that Mark guy you said, or Jared that we use. I don't know if Jared's taken any new clients, but
He's not. He is not. He actually reduced his client base this past year. He has decided that he really enjoys business consulting much better, and so he's been trying to build up his client base on consulting. So
we paid, I think, $800 or $900 just to have the taxes done this year, and it was worth it.
Mind your own.
I didn't have to do it.
Mind your own business has a drill, but he won't drill his own teeth.
So she charges $100 an hour. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a ripoff. I don't know what the consulting fee is or what the fee for an accountant is nowadays, but I know it's not $100 an hour. I don't think.
But this is all part of the wrapping up of this show. Is there? We talked about some of the difficulties in the last 30, 40 minutes. That's not what people see if they're introduced to it in a YouTube video. They look at it and they see the fun part. They see the sourcing. They see the, oh my God, look at the wins. Quickly people find out that, the people who shout from the outside, yeah, but you don't pay your taxes and all this, don't understand what a 1099 is. And these companies are legally required to report, they scream in ignorance, but they don't understand that, it's a business like anything else. If you make profit, you're responsible for paying taxes on profit. And so that part of it, that's why if you can outsource the things you don't like, so you can continue to focus on the things that you do very well. And you have the most fun at that's why I say never ever legislate or rule out the fun parts of reselling, because at some point you'll rule yourself out. Because if you don't enjoy and it's not your passion anymore and it becomes a dread and a drain on you, you're not going to perform and eventually you'll go away. And so
there's a rumor in the chat, and I don't know where it came from, but I love me a bologna sandwich. I don't know why people think I don't, but anyway, go ahead, carry on.
You don't like bologna sandwiches? What?
I love me a bologna sandwich.
That's terrible, Steve. I'm sorry.
I love bologna sandwiches.
Next thing you'll say is you want to eat peanut butter and jelly, and then you're going to be just booted.
Well, peanut butter and jelly isn't my favorite, but I would eat it before you hit that button.
But the difficulty, and so that's why I say guard your motivation, guard it, because there's so much to know, so much to do. And as you're doing it your way, it's very hard to, unless you start from the very beginning and develop procedures and policies, it's hard to teach someone. And that becomes a struggle. So now you've built this business and you want to get some help, and you just do it because you know it. And you've not had an employee before, and you don't understand the rules of taxes and employment taxes, and it gets complicated very quickly. I mean, I understand you can use a VA, and that's a little different, but it's the complication of this business gets very quickly from, I just wanted to pick up stuff at yard sales.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I can do this full time. And you don't realize you step off into it doesn't matter, eBay, Amazon, all the platforms, you step off because you have the same responsibilities for all
You
of
know
them.
what? Bob T has a point. Spam is my favorite. I still like bologna though. In fact, I think my wife didn't, prepare lunch for me because she's out driving today. So it's my responsibility to prepare lunch today. I think a can of spam
Damn it.
might just be.
Look at Steve. Steve is growing up. He's gonna make his own lunch today.
That's right. And it's going to be a can of spam. Thanks, Bob, for the reminder there.
You could have some hot dogs and just eat it in the microwave in a bun.
There you go. I used to actually be responsible for making all the meals before I got married. So Clay grew up on some easy to make stuff, but like goulash every night because you throw some hamburger until the price of hamburger got up. But how have I changed?
So Tina, that's great advice. If you take local small SBA office, local universities, they have a lot of people who will help you because they just need experience.
If you're in the state of Ohio, setting up an LLC is super simple. You just do it right online. My wife did it. I don't know the exact process, but I know just filling out a form, paying a fee, and you're done. It's not a big, scary thing here. I don't know what it's like in other states. An S corp is a whole different situation. But
so the hardest part about setting up an LLC is actually functioning correctly in an LLC. Remember, once you set up an LLC, one of the requirements, basically the only requirement, is to separate personal from business. Because
it's a rough thing to remember to do.
Because that's why you need a separate checking account, and that's why you need to do everything on business and then personal, and not mix the two. Even though the funds get mingled back in together, which is normal, because the liability. If you just form an LLC but change nothing and continue to run everything like it was before, and it's not as a business as it just mixed in, mangled up personal, you have what they call pierced the veil of liability. And it means that liability, say, God forbid, you sell something that hurts someone and they're coming after you for, the business would only be liable for a certain amount because, they can only only squeeze so much blood out of a turnip. But you've got this nice paid for house over here that they want your personal property and everything because you've ruined their life. And you have not put up a veil between the business and your personal. They will say, hey, this is an LLC in name only, and your personal items will be liable in any kind of lawsuit. So understand that LLCs are serious, and you need to understand to be separate so that you protect your liability in case something dreadful. That's the other reason why to have insurance, and it's very affordable. And it's very easy.
I've gone as far with the LLC as to change my name on both Amazon and eBay and put the LLC behind it. So it's Slick Toys LLC. That's what my eBay name is, because that way it's just another level of protection. If they're suing me, they're suing my LLC.
File with the government, get an EIN number, run everything through an EIN number. It shows that it's separate from your social security number, even though they are the same together. But it helps create that separation so that.
I have never heard of Taylor egg, ham, and cheese on a roll, but boy, does that sound good.
What is Taylor? Is that like
our Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on a roll out there in Ohio? So I would assume that's an establishment that makes this.
It says
no,
Taylor,
we don't have them. But man, is it good. It sounds good.
It says Taylor, comma. What is Taylor?
Mark, my business insurance has temporarily lapsed, but we'll get it back. And that's because I had to make cuts. And mainly had it for my Amazon side of things, and I'm almost selling nothing on Amazon now. Amazon required it there for a while when I was selling a lot more. I don't suggest doing what I've done. But since the question was asked, right now, currently, I had to let it lapse because I couldn't afford it. But I can't afford not to have it either. That's another thing you got to look at. But I had to make cuts somewhere, and that was one of the ones that begrudgingly I had to do. As a part-time seller, it's a lot different than when I was full-time, but it'll come back as soon as we ramp things up again. But I don't suggest it. I suggest you should have it, absolutely. And I had mine through the Hartford.
Same here.
But it was through, what's her name? I can't remember her name right off the top of my head.
Scott Condon, are you listening? What's her name?
Ashlyn Hayden.
Ashlyn Hayden. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful person. We've had her on the show. And she's
very knowledgeable and very easy. And if you have any issues, she handles it. That would be my recommendation, because most time if you go somewhere and ask for it, they look at you like you have lost your mind. It's nice to have an agent like Ashlyn who
it was very hard for me to cancel that policy, but it was up for renewal. I didn't have the money. I had no money in the bank to do it. So as soon as that money is there, I will do it.
I knew Scott C was lurking. See there?
Yeah. Just like on your Sunday night shows, I'm lurking. I'm always lurking.
Scott C, as soon as I hit the end button, he'll come in. I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna trick you and say I hit the end button, and then you're gonna show up on camera. Steve, liquidation process, check next.
Okay.
So I haven't seen another video. Have you moved into your new warehouse there, Liquidation Pros? I saw the one the other day or last week where you were showing the building here and the buildings down. Go ahead and try that. I'll hit relive. I just don't care enough, Scott. You're safe. You're safe being the introvert that you are. So now that we've discussed all the things not to do, everyone is going to spend the rest of the day fixing all that, and on Thursday you're going to be the group of the world's greatest resellers. Isn't that awesome? 75% moved in, got his basement back. Hot damn, got the basement back. That's one of the most refreshing feeling, folks, is when you grow large enough that you can afford your own personal space for your business. You know, mine is out. I built this building out here, so it's outside. To not be living with your inventory is one of the better feelings in reselling, is to when you understand that, you know, look at all the costs, you know, the space, you got to remember to add insurance and power and internet and all that stuff. But, you know, that's another one, you know, another business expense that reduces your profit, it reduces your tax liability. So, you know, that's another one that makes everybody's situation so completely different. Yes,
Lag is our resident basement expert.
All right, we will kill the banner for the day. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Great conversation, great questions. Just wanted to throw this up here just to have a way to talk about. Next week will be more positive. Next week I'll find best practices next week. Instead of negatives, we'll find some best practices on a certain topic next week. So that'll be exciting. If you want to walk on the wild side, Rumble tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central.
I'm afraid.
I haven't set the show up because it's a little more difficult to set the show up over there. So I haven't done it yet. But yeah. Any questions, any topics, they're fun over there. Because Rumble says you can exercise your rights as free Americans.
Wow. That's a novel theory.
Exercising your rights as a free people. Okay, pseudo free. I don't know that we're free. That's the topic for over there. All right. Thumbs up if you don't mind. We appreciate everybody being here with us. Yeah.
Sweetwater out.
I think we're gonna give you a roll tide.